Look, let the business dictate the loyalty. Bottom line. What's happening is Rico. Salute to the business committee. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We in here. MTV. Damn. MTV shutting down after becoming a staple at one point in the culture. MTV didn't start off that way. At one point, MTV wasn't playing nothing but rock and soft rock music and videos. But then as rap began to grow in popularity, they realized it was in their best interest to be a part of it, to get those advertising dollars. But MTV had a good run. You know, they had the Punk'd. They had the Beavis and Butthead, I believe. They had all types of nice little programs for all ages to really indulge in. They had the TRL, and, you know, that show right there blew up a few people's careers just from being on there. You know, I think, well, who was on the host, Carson Daly? You know, at that time, MTV was popping. Then they had the MTV Jams before it became BET Jams. And you know they both owned by the same company, Viacom, so you can see BET about to pull up right behind MTV sooner than later. But MTV, they had the Cribs. You know what I'm saying? They had a good run. I'm sure they made plenty of money. At one point, you could probably watch MTV for a few hours because of the programming. Then they started putting movies on there. And then eventually, they just kind of fell all the way out the map. For what reason? Who knows? You know, they had the Teen Mom thing, I believe. So I guess they began to cater to a different demographic. And you know, it worked. But it wasn't long lasting, clearly. You know, so it's it's terrible to see it go, but you know, it happens. And at the rate of hip hop's popularity, I'm telling you, BET is next. And it seems like the interest in music across the board has generally went down. But I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Let me know what you think about this in the comments. Rico, what the business is. Want it.